Drew's performance.
It's incredible. Fucking guy's a rock star. Y'all gotta censor that.
Was he talking about a Denver Broncos quarterback? A guy who can do some of this, some of that, some of this, and this, some of this. We have a quarterback in Denver, Colorado! And his name is John Elway, who is now better at drafting talent with Drew Lock, Dalton Reiser, Noah Fant, all in the same draft that he ever was at playing. Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. This is the official emoji sequence for Drew Lock Perna. He earned the horse and the cock and the lock sequence by leading scoring drives on all 5 of the first Broncos drives in their dominant win over the Texans, and by becoming the first rookie in NFL history to throw for at least 300 passing yards and 3 touchdowns in his first road game. Hey Brandon, but Trevor Siemian did that in 2016 against the Bengals. Wrong. He was a second-year player, you fools. Did Drew Lock uncurse the Broncos after Homer Simpson cursed them?
That's the population of Colorado.
Is that the Broncos one?
It is.
Oh.
That was the first episode of The Simpsons' 31st season this year, and they dumped on our Broncos again for no reason. My second love crapping on my first love is why I am incapable of loving. Probably also why I don't have religion. I have football, and Drew Lock has been named my savior. Today I will recap Broncos and their surprising win over the Texans. Please consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. I am on Patreon. You can support That's Good Sports at patreon.com/that'sgoodsports. All $5 donors do get a Patreon-only video that is only for patrons. It is the only place you will ever see those videos. Today I have Big Dick Patreon shoutouts for Tegan, Shirley, Will, Hannon, Anthony, Joseph, Tobin Crow, Sal, Tirado, Ian, Castle, Can You Digs It? Alex, Woodward, Felipe, Ramirez, Gustavo Cantu Fernandez, Brandon Perna is my real dad, Chris Schneider, my old boss Chris Schneider, Keith Goduti, Big B Bigo, Trent Staley, Dr. Phil McGroin, Alex Boneneck, Benjamin Katana, Ryan Gordon, Zachary Moorman, not Mormon, Ethan S., Robert Hunter, and Rise Doe. My God, that is a lot of donors. Thank you guys so much. I hope you're enjoying your Patreon video. Texans fans, if you're still here, thank you. I promise my gloating will be rewarded with some praise for Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins, 2 players I am a big fan of. In fact, Watson and Locke have something weird in common. Deshaun's best play this season was his one-eyed touchdown pass when he was kicked in the face, and his eyes sliced open like the cold cuts on a Vic Fangio sub. Locke didn't have his eye cut like Aaron Donald's upper body, but he did, based on this visual evidence, throw a touchdown pass with one eye. My prediction, 2021, Watson versus Locke in the AFC Championship game, but played in Las Vegas, home of the team with the one-eyed logo. The linebackers in Houston have made a tradition now of showing up to the games in costume. First, they arrived as Mortal Kombat male strippers, then as a SWAT team of male strippers. And for the Broncos game, they were dodgeball uniforms from the movie Dodgeball, which is not about male strippers. They did a great job dodging Broncos all day. They were a bunch of below average Joes. Actually, the only thing Houston did well was stop the run. So, not since Man with a plan, has CBS tried so hard to get into my head. They showed that the two other quarterbacks to throw 2 first-quarter touchdowns in their debut next to Drew Lock were Marcus Mariota and David Blough. Do not try and curse our QBs, CBS. We've done our time, just like we did post-Elway and post-Plummer. What were Blough and Mariota doing on 3rd down? That's what I want to know, because what really gets me Lock hard is Lock's 3rd down performance. Again, he's risen Denver's 3rd down conversion percentage from 27.7 to 52.2% and has been 15 of 18 for 182 yards and 4 touchdowns on the money down. Lock, also the first quarterback since Manning to not shit his pants with terrible starting field position or pressure in his face. Also, is it too early for John Elway to extend Drew Lock? Isn't that what you're supposed to do for
Fucking guy's a rock star.
That Von Miller quote actually reminds me of my 167th favorite artist of the 2010s, Post Malone, who said this of rock stars. Papa Billy's throwing touchdowns like a rock star. Yeah, rock star! I do bet Elway's master plan, though, is to win the Super Bowl with Drew Lock on a rookie contract and then retire forever after walking out into the sunset for the 2nd time, and to leave some other sucker the job of figuring out how to pay Drew Lock more than Patrick Mahomes. Okay, how'd this game go down? That's why you're here. Not for me to gush about how great it feels to see a quarterback win a game for the Broncos and not manage a close victory. My apologies again to Texans fans. I know you're used to this because you have one of those amazing quarterbacks already. And with a big Titans win on Sunday and 2 games against Tennessee in the next 3 weeks, this loss was not funny for you. Which is why I expect your linebackers to show up as characters from Roberto Benigni's Pinocchio, the least funny movie I can think of. Lock started this game throwing dimes on his very first drive, and Danny had no idea why his bank account was dropping 10 cents a second. First to Noah Fant for 48 yards, where he tiptoes down the sideline. Then a back foot throw from Drew Lock to Drew Beck for another big chunk with pressure right in his grill. 29 yards there. Next play, Phillip Lindsay with an apparent touchdown, but it's called back thanks to a Garrett Bowles block in the back. Pretty weak call. Anyway, Broncos fans were like, uh-oh. Here we go again. All other quarterbacks have been death-knelled because of Garrett Bowles' penalties in the red zone, but it didn't matter because Lock is stronger than that. And on 3rd and 12, Lock throws a laser to Noah Fant for the touchdown, which Fant squeezes between his big, powerful thighs. Lock sets the phaser to kill and shows off his Buzz Lightyear celebration, which even though I love Toy Story, I do not support because I am going to try and make money off of Lock Hard and horse emoji, cock emoji, lock emoji shirts to drop later this week. The Texans looked like they might answer on the next drive until Kiki Cutie fumbles, which was actually cute. Picked up by Jeremiah Atauchu, who gets stuck in traffic and very kindly hands the ball to Kareem Jackson, who gets to run it back the other way and score a touchdown against his former team. The replay shows that Alexander Johnson did knock the ball out, and that became Denver's first defensive touchdown this whole season. Let me explain something to you, Texans fans. I've been so beaten down. I've been so used to getting screwed by the officials or just the bad bounce of the ball that I couldn't even enjoy that play live because I just knew it was going to get called back. And that is the honest fucking truth. But even Drew Lock fixes the referees. Now, Kareem Jackson channeled his inner Steve Atwater, John Lynch, and Brian Dawkins on this hit. I hate to ever see DeAndre Hopkins hit that hard. I really can't believe, though, that this was not a flag, because regardless of it being a textbook hit, whenever there's a collision of that magnitude, they are going to throw a flag. But shout out to the officials for being pretty damn good in this game. And a bigger shout out to Kareem Jackson for winning the Big Dick Player Award. Kareem finished with a fumble return for a touchdown, an interception, 11 tackles, 1 for a loss, and 1 dropped pick 6. which I think shows he still respects the fans in Houston. Shelby Harris had another batted pass. He leads the league in that category. Jerry Atauchu was in the Texans backfield all day. And Von Miller played through an MCL sprain. A.J. Johnson kept assisting Kareem Jackson on all of his big plays. I just want you to know I see you, defense. As I go on and on about Drew Lock, you have been the staple of this team through the season. But I gotta talk about the sexy quarterback, who in the second quarter floats this beautiful sideline pass to Tim Patrick for a huge gain of 42. Locke followed it up with an angle route to Devontae Booker for 25. You can tell Locke is a great leader when he can get a big play out of Devontae Booker and then get a touchdown out of Jeff Hireman on the same drive. All previous quarterbacks couldn't do that in the same game. Probably the easiest throw, though, of Drew Lock's young career. Well, until his next touchdown when Royce Freeman is wide open for Lock's third TD pass of the first half. That one got set up by a pass interference on Tim Patrick in the end zone, and another big game prior to that from Noah Fant, who finished with 4 receptions for 113 yards and that touchdown. Broncos go up 31-3, which we all saw coming. The Freeman touchdown was easy, but it was very important. It was a score for Denver in the final 2 minutes of the half, a spot they have traditionally only allowed touchdowns this season, and it broke the curse of 24 points, a number they have not been allowed to pass like fucking Gandalf was standing in their way every game. After the half, the Broncos kept up the momentum and drove right back down the field. A Whitney merciless hold negated a sack on Drew Lock, then another sideline pass to Fant for 23 yards, and a couple 10 and 8 yard passes set up a 1 yard Philip, I am still from Colorado, Lindsay touchdown to make up for that one that got called back in the first quarter. That made the score 38-3 in the third quarter. Let's just sit back and soak in the fact that the Broncos were up 38-3 on a team that just beat the Patriots a week before and may very well win their division and get a home playoff game. And they did it with a rookie quarterback starting in his second game and his first game on the road. This was our Super Bowl this year. Don't be afraid to celebrate like it was such. Now, one of the best things this game gave us was this graphic comparing Tom Brady's first half against the Texans to Drew Lock's first half against the Texans. Or as I call it, baby Jesus getting compared to a dinosaur who sees the meteor coming right for him. Even Rich Gannon admitted Tom Brady sucks. And not just because he's getting old, but because he's too old to be wearing a wristband to help him get in and drink in the clubs. Or to know what plays he needs to do or whatever.
You know, it's unusual for a lot of these quarterbacks to wear these wristbands. Brady wears one, but...
Look, Deshaun Watson had a tough first half until A.J. McCarron stepped up and gave Watson some sideline advice. Watson was like, what the hell can I learn from you, A.J., other than why again I should never drink alone with Andy Dalton? A.J. was like, well, Deshaun, have I told you to keep your girlfriend away from Brent Musburger and not hand the ball off to Jeremy Hill with under 5 minutes left to play? No, that's actually solid advice. AJ's plan worked, though. Deshaun Watson, so desperate as to never have to talk to AJ again, started performing quarterback magic every time the Texans got into the red zone. Through 35 games, Deshaun Watson has the highest completion percentage of all time, until Drew Lock breaks that in 33 games. The Broncos had a 38-10 lead, and I can say, in all honesty, I have never been so okay with an opponent scoring on the Broncos than when Watson leaped into the end zone here and out-shouldered Will Parks, who even had to give Watson some love for this move. Defenders already have to debate where to hit the quarterback. Don't go too high, don't go too low. What the hell are they supposed to do when a QB leaps 6 feet off the ground? There's no good solution for that. The good news is the Broncos just might be fine moving forward with Drew Lock. And the Texans definitely are fine with Watson, who makes plays like this 4th and 18 conversion every week, and not just when being dominated by surprise juggernauts like the Broncos. Okay, yeah, the final score ended up being 38-24. But that's really a lot of saving face by the Texans. Drew Lock wasn't perfect. His worst throw of the game got picked off by Tashawn Gibson. His best play may have been on the bench. not losing his cool when Joe Cool was clearly swaying in front of him so the cameras would pick up on his perfect hair and not our future Hall of Fame QB in the making. Which is why it only took Locke 2 games to get the Big Dick Player Award. He will receive it humbly, I am sure, as it is quite meaningless to a man already named Horse Emoji, Cock Emoji, Lock Emoji. So I will leave you with this. The Broncos, they do have a less than 1% chance to make the playoffs. And more on that to come in Saturday morning's newly invigorated Broncos prediction episode. So don't forget about those bad boys still popping up every week. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on the tubes of views. Wilkie6, give him a follow on Twitter at Wilkie6. He helps me write football here. I'm on Twitter, Instagram at Brandon Perna. If you want to talk about football where I can answer back, that's the place to do it.